Hey guys, welcome back to the Basil and Dill YouTube channel. I'm Anna and today I am showing you the most wonderful recipe for a super easy apple pie. So let's get started. I'm starting off with my mixer. I'm gonna grab the whisk attachment and stick it in, just like that, boom. And then, actually we'll keep it up for now. I have 6 eggs. These are like filled right up to the top of this bowl. So let's pour this, it's so close to the edge. Let's pour this as carefully as possible into this bowl. Boom, in they go. Perfect, and then I'm going to get 1.5 cups of sugar, pour it in there. Ooh, look at that sugar powder. When I was a kid, oh my gosh, when I was a kid and my parents would pour sugar into something, I would stand there and like inhale it because I thought that it tasted good. Tell me that that's not just me because I thought it was really fun. And then lastly, I have 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I'm gonna pour that in, and then I'm going to mix this all together on a high speed. And you wanna make sure that you're mixing this until it's light and fluffy because we don't have any chemical rising agent in this recipe. So whatever you mix here, this is gonna make your pie be as fluffy as possible. So let's get mixing. I'm gonna start off kind of slow, and then I'll go up. Mix. Okay. I'm gonna stop it for just a second. Keep it from moving. And then I see that I have some grains of sugar and then some egg yolks stuck up on the sides. So I'm just gonna scrape that down so it can get evenly mixed into this. Perfect. I'm gonna scrape off my spatula. Just like that. And then we're gonna mix again. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit more, just so it's really mixed in really well. And then let's turn it off and see how we're doing. It's a little closer to me. There we go. I think it looks pretty good, honestly. I'm gonna mix it around one more time, scrape down the sides. And my eggs are really fluffy. I've really incorporated a lot of air into this mixture. It looks great. So I wanna mix as much as I can now because once I add my flour, I really shouldn't mix a lot because the more that you mix your flour, the more the gluten is gonna develop, and then you might end up with a bit more tough texture than we're looking for. So let's mix one more time while we just have the eggs and sugar. All right, so that looks wonderful. It's still really smooth, but I can tell that it's really well combined. It's a little fluffy. Now we're gonna get 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and just sprinkle in a little bit and then mix it. And I'm gonna mix this sort of on a low speed so that all my flour doesn't just jump out at me. Because I've definitely done that before and it was kind of a mess. So don't want to do that again. So really carefully. Oh, it looks so good. And I also add a little bit of flour at a time because I find that that makes my batter a lot more smooth and silky. Wonderful. Perfect. That looks great. So everything's almost combined. I'm gonna turn it off before I mix it for too long. I still have some flour on the sides, so I'm gonna get my spatula and scrape down the sides one more time. And then just try to fold that flour in as carefully as possible. sort of struggled when trying to name this because I was like, I can't tell if it's a cake or a pie. I ended up on pie just because I think it resembles a pie more and I bake it in a pie tin. But that is up for you to decide. If you want to call it a cake, that's fine. Uh-oh, my dog, last time, get out of here, get out of here. I always put some of my ingredients on the bottom shelf, or, I mean, I tried not to, but I had to have some apples down there today. Get out. We had it once. If y'all watched the meatball video recipe, he ate 2 of my meatballs. They didn't fit into my pan and he ate them in literally like 2 seconds. So now every single time that I see him down there, I go into panic mode and I'm like, dude, get out, get out. I'm not gonna lose any more food today. So I'm just gonna fold it in one more time. I can see that there's still a little bit of flour on the sides. Just gonna grab hold onto it and mix. Perfect, just like that. It's really fluffy and it leaves like, it's so smooth. It leaves sort of like ribbons on your batter when you put it like that. So that's perfect. Now let me clean up a little bit. Set these aside. I'm gonna pull out my apples. I have my apples and then my 2 pie tins. So in this bowl, I have 3 Granny Smith apples. They've been washed, peeled, and then diced into little cubes, just like this. They've browned a little bit, that's fine. No worries there. So I'm just gonna start off by splitting these 2 into these 2 pie tins, just like this. I recommend glass when you're baking these. I just find it works best. If you have ceramic or like tin, that works fine as well, but if you have glass, definitely go with the glass. Perfect. Okay, that looks wonderful. And I'm just gonna flatten these out as much as possible. I see my puppy's waiting right here. He's sitting hoping for something to drop. He does that in the kitchen all the time. I'm cooking and he just sits there and he looks up at me. He's like, I know something's gonna drop on the ground. I'm gonna eat it the second that it does. Okay, these look great. I'm going to add in some chopped walnuts. You can do pecans as well. I have half a cup here. I'm gonna do about 1/4 cup per each pie tin. I don't have too many on this one. It's okay. If you have a nut allergy, that's totally fine. You can just take out the nuts and it's still wonderful. There we go. Okay, that looks great. Now I have a little bit of cinnamon. I'm gonna open it up and then sprinkle just a little bit on top. Perfect. And how much cinnamon you put is gonna depend on how much you like cinnamon. If you don't really like cinnamon that much, just put like a tiny little pinch. And that'll be enough. But if you like cinnamon like me, go full out and sprinkle a lot. So now I have my batter. I've noticed some bubbles on top, so I'm just gonna fold those in. And just be really, really careful with it. Boom, it looks amazing. It's so smooth. So now I'm just gonna try as evenly as possible to pour it on top of the 2 pie tins. And this takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get it sometime. Like this, boom. And I start with a little bit and then a little bit on each and then I go to the other one. Perfect. That looks great. I think this one needs a little bit more, so I'm gonna add a little bit, especially around the edges. I tend to stick to the center the first time around that I'm pouring, so the second time I try to go around the edges. Okay, that looks great. Next I'm gonna grab a tiny little spatula. You can get a toothpick or a fork or a spoon, doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna kind of wiggle my apple bits around and let all that batter seep into the insides of the pie, because we don't want to leave like big pockets of just open spots in our pie. Just gonna wiggle it around. And it may seem a little bit weird. I didn't prepare these pie tins in any way. I just poured all my ingredients in there. I don't really think that makes a big difference if you like spray it with nonstick oil. Okay, so this one looks great. I see some bubbles. I'm just gonna pop those. Just smooth out the surface like this. Perfect. I'm gonna go over to this one and do the same thing here. Just open up the little air pockets. Move it around. Okay, these look really great. I want to make sure that I cover as much of the apples and nuts as possible. I want to leave them mostly under the batter because if you have some sticking up, those get a little bit of a weird texture. So try to cover as much as all of your ingredients as you can with this batter. So I have this little apple piece sticking up. I'm just going to try to stick it underneath. Try to cover it. Okay, this looks wonderful. I'm going to take both of these, put them into a preheated oven at 375 degrees. I'm starting with 20 minutes and then I'll just go up from there depending on if they're ready or not. It really will depend on your oven because all ovens cook at different times. So just keep an eye on them. Start with 20 and then move on from there. I will see y'all when these are ready. Okay guys, our pies are ready. They look gorgeous. You want some? I'm gonna give you blueberry instead. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that y'all enjoyed. Please try this recipe. It is so easy. It takes less than an hour to make 2 gorgeous, super delicious pies, and I promise you won't regret it. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and do all the great things if you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Bye.